Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Health Span Hacks by Mark and
Poppy! That was
right,
good. I
Poppy.
did like a full dance then.
Really good, really good. Right, Poppy. We've had a few questions come in, and we've been chatting. We've answered one on our last episode. It was really interesting. Thank you for those. So please keep.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Gary.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Yeah, thanks for that one. That really got me on. Please keep sending in your questions as we're going along these podcasts, and we'll try and answer them as best as possible. Now, today we're going to talk about sustainability and why sometimes we fall off the wagon on certain things. So, in fact, relating to the lifespan thing that we've been going to be talking about, or we've been talking about over the last few weeks, we're talking about why diets don't work, for instance. And so we're going to speak to Dr. Poppy here today, who's going to give us a little bit of insight as why we may fall off the wagon once in a while. She's also going to give us some interesting anecdotes around healthy eating as well. So, Poppy, I'm going to let you go for it, and I'm going to sit here in silence, in awe, and listen.
Well, I love how I'm just like the chaotic mess that falls off the wagon. So thanks. I'm here to talk about falling off the diet wagon. So I know we've spoken before around I'm not someone who follows a diet. I don't really do strict exercise, but one thing I do think I'm good at is caring for my well-being as a priority. So hopefully that will come out. But yes, I'm not very good at healthy eating every day. Now, for my children, I've got 3 children. They eat the best, the most, in school when you had to draw the balanced diet plate, their meals are incredible. What did they have yesterday? I made chicken fajitas, they had carrot sticks. I put them in little shot glasses. So it's super cute. They have their 7 a day fruit and veg. Me, on the other hand, so I'll normally eat when they're in bed. And I have to admit, everyone, that any excuse to celebrate anything good that's happened in my life, oh, good, I had my research paper accepted or whatever it is, it's time for a takeaway. So I have to, I'm very much in the whole behaviorism of praise and reward. I will look for any excuse to not make myself a healthy meal. And I think a lot of that, the way I justify it is I'm a working mom, I work full time, and I just like to treat myself. So yes, I'm continually falling off the wagon. The one day I'm good, every weekend I will always have one meal with my children, normally on a Saturday or Sunday, or sometimes both days on a weekend. We'll always have a really big meal, and that is always really good and really healthy for me. But during the week, I'm awful. And I can't be the only one. Surely other people listening understand my pain. And it doesn't help when, even before we came on this podcast, Mark, I got an email saying from a takeaway provider, oh, it's 20% off. It's Cheeky Tuesday or it's Tasty Thursday. And that's not helpful because I was going to have a salad tonight. And then being more serious, I do think because I'm very tuned into my mental health, we all know that things can also trigger us. It could be, for example, recently, really sad. It was my mom's husband's birthday, but he has Alzheimer's. He's in a care home. We couldn't celebrate with him because everyone's ill. We actually weren't allowed to visit the care home. And that felt very strange. I felt very powerless. Like normally someone's birthday, you make a fuss of them, you buy them cards and presents. He doesn't even know how to open a birthday card. At Christmas, we saw he forgot how to open cards. And so I was thinking, wow, like, should I celebrate and have a healthy meal? Should I celebrate and have a meal in his honor? And so sometimes we do need that comfort eating, and comfort can be found in food for many of us. Particularly, I think, as a child, when you've grown up always being given healthy food. Now you're an adult. Sometimes you think, oh, I can eat whatever I want. And sometimes as well, being a woman, looking at different changes through the monthly cycle, there are times when hormones do just make you just want to eat chocolate and whipped cream and cakes. And that is out of my control. So there are lots of reasons why I'm repeatedly falling off the healthy eating wagon. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think, especially with women as they hit menopause as well, obviously, there's loads of bodily changes, isn't there, and psychological changes and hormonal changes, etc. as you go through. I think one of the, aside from the mental health aspects, is like we often had that incompatibility as well. So, for instance, if we're looking at, let's say we're going to lose some weight and we've been trying to lose weight or we've been gaining weight or whatever. I mean, it's not just diet, it's other aspects, but we've been eating a particular way for say 20 years, and then we suddenly take on a diet the next day. The adaptation from this habitual intake over the last 20-year period, and it's to suddenly change that to like a dietary approach can be quite difficult for people to overcome. Or they, the many people that I've worked with is that they've eaten that way for a particular time. They take on a diet, they'll stick with it for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, then they sort of fall off their wagon. And that's because they can't sort of integrate it into their lifestyle very well. And it's one thing that's not really discussed in the research is about how things we bolt onto our life are actually incompatible with our lifestyle. So it's trying to make sure that things sort of fit in well. And that's quite a difficult thing to do, especially if you don't have any knowledge or understanding or what those issues are. So I think you're right. So I think one of the reasons from my perspective and the research I do, one of the reasons we fall off a wagon, if you like, is because we're stuck in this sort of approach, this pathway of lifestyle, and then when we try and introduce something into it, it doesn't last very long because we can't engage with it particularly well.
Yes, and I do think, Mark, I totally agree. I think we are creatures of habit as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we fall into habits. I think, at my 10 o'clock break between meetings, that's when I want a biscuit with my cup of tea. Yeah, or 11, when my children are at home, if it's the holidays, they have snacks every hour, and I fall into that pattern as well. But wait, let me show you something cool that I actually just got that's a bit of a quick fix. Right there.
Yeah. Can you also answer me a question? If you're giving your kids shot glasses with carrots in, are you emptying the shot glass before you put the carrots in?
Funny story about the shot glasses. They're actually for our pet axolotl. They're actually to defrost his bloodworm. So all my pets eat healthy. That's why we have the shot glasses. This is a quick fix. Look at this. Look how fun this is. Lots of bottles like this are available, but it's got the times of the day. I actually have to treat myself like a baby to make sure I drink enough water. So this is just a simple way that I'm trying to stay hydrated. You fill it up at 8 a.m. and each hour you're meant to have drunk down to the next slot.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So these are like some little healthy things that I try and do to work to, because I enjoy, the competition and the reward. If I know that I can meet the competition of the bottle,
well, competitive behaviour.
I bet you drink your regulation. How many is it? 2 liters a day. I bet you drink that every day.
No, actually, I do try and drink. I'm quite bad at it. Actually, I should drink more water. I do try and drink as much water as I feel comfortable with. You shouldn't go for too much, But I'm not the best, and I do try. But we get quite a lot of water from our food, like our veg, for instance. I eat a ton of veg. So we get quite a lot of water from that as well. I'm not saying that we shouldn't drink water as well, but, I get a lot from that. But, yeah, I'm absolutely terrible. I mean, I think it's the only thing I'm really bad at.
Oh, good. I find
it lifestyle.
One thing I would say that I've learned, so for any parents or carers listening to this, I did joke at the start that my children do eat really healthy and I don't. But another thing I've tried doing is matching their fruit. So often when they come home, I'll say, who wants some fruit? They'll all have a tangerine. And then I'll give myself a tangerine as well. This sounds really basic, but those of you who are busy parents and carers know, often you're just thinking about the kids and you forget about yourself. So I do try and do that. I'll give them all a bowl of grapes and I'll think, right, make myself a bowl of grapes. So it's just, and I think then you're also being the role model, aren't you? If you're showing your children how to make healthy choices, and that you're eating healthily, then hopefully that's showing them a sustainable pattern as they move into adulthood themselves and make their own independent choices.
I think it's also there's a form of eating called mindful eating, but aside from that, there's mindful eating in the sense that the people I've worked with in research and that, the mothers and that, is that sometimes they'll give their kids, because they're coming from school, chips and pie or something like that. But as they're cooking it, the mothers will munch on some of the chips, and then they will munch on a little bit about something else and something else, and then they'll eat a meal. Mm-hmm. So you're sort of.
I mean, that's me. That's literally my life.
Yeah. So I get the old carrot thing. You eat a carrot because the kids are eating a carrot, but sometimes we can do it the other way around, can't we? Just munch on the chips because the kids are eating chips. So I think it's a mindful approach as well, and being aware of what you're eating is quite important as well. But yeah, I fully understand that, because everyone has a pick, don't they? No, I know.
I love it when my children leave really good leftovers. I mean, that's the best.
Yeah, that's right. So perhaps sometime in the future we should talk about the distractions around food and how we're tempted by different advertisements and such like, and the confusion around food is like, what's a good diet, what's a bad diet? you know, because there's so many diets out there. And I find a lot of people get really confused over what's what around food and understanding what's good and bad for them.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think we could clear up some of that mess, Poppy, between us?
I think next episode, let's dig into that, because you know I love social media and I sometimes see really toxic diet stuff on social media.
Oh yeah, you've got to bring some examples in. Go through some examples.
Let's do that next time.
Yeah,
and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I can't believe episode 3, that is bringing us to the end. But thank you everyone who's listened in today. Hopefully, you know, no judgment around here. We all know we're busy people. It's hard to always healthy eat, but hopefully you can all go treat yourself to a little bit of fruit or veg after this podcast.
And some water.
And some water. Get drinking water, guys. Speak to you soon, Mark, and see you soon, everyone.
See you, everyone. Bye-bye.